Sydney, the capital of New South Wales, the most populous city in Australia. A country known for its incredible wildlife and its love of sports, surfing being one of them. It's also got iconic places such as the Opera House and the Harbour Bridge. It's also known, of course, for the home of the HSBC BWF Australian Open 2022 here at the Key Centre, part of the Olympic Park complex. We're into the final day of competition here, so it's all come down to these matches on court one. We start with the mixed doubles, Kim and Jeong up against Seo and Chae, the fourth-seeded Koreans, an all-Korean final there. And then into the women's doubles, the Imsad sisters playing Jeong and Jeong of China, the sixth seeds, who will go into that as the favourites. An Soo-young also overwhelming favourite in the women's singles final against Gregoria Mariska Tunjung, playing in her first final at this level. Lu Guangzhou looking to reclaim the title he won here a few years ago against his compatriot Shi Yuqi, who continues his comeback. And in the men's doubles, Malaysia with a presence here after a few years in the men's doubles finals, the six-seeded Ong and Teo against Liu and Oh, the eight-seeded Chinese pair. And why this tournament in particular is so important, of course, as we look at the ladder here on the trail to that final and how they made it all the way. Kim and Jeong, Seo and Chae had different routes to that final, and why this is so crucial is that road to Bangkok, with now the places pretty much sorted out with those top three pairs. Wow, how good are they? They'll be the ones to beat, you'd think, in Bangkok.
Ladies and gentlemen, our first pairing, Kim Won-ho and Jeong Na-eun, Korea. And our second pairing, Seo Seung-jae and Chae Yoon-jung from Korea.
Great reception in the crowd. We're expecting a sellout as the day progresses. The Korean community right here in Sydney, actually not far away from Olympic Park as well. So this will feel almost like a home match at times for these players. A lot of familiarity with these pairs. They've only played each other once, so that was in the Denmark Open very recently, where Seo and Chae won a tight affair, 21-18, 21-19. We now sort out the toss. And we'll find out a little bit more about these players. Looking at Kim Won-ho, 23 years of age, and 184 centimeters tall, currently 45th in the world. His best has been 28th when he was paired with Shin Seung-chan. That was in May of 2018. His partner is Jeong Na-eun, who's 22, from the capital Seoul, 167 centimeters tall. This is her current best ranking. She was part of the Korean team that had a stunning win in the Uber Cup a few months ago, beating China in the final. Has been a former bronze medalist in the World Junior Championships. This is their path to the final. Relatively straightforward. They dropped their first game in the semis against Ferdinandsha and Wijaja. Were a little bit passive, perhaps, in that first game, but then stormed back in style in the final two. Now, Seo Seung-jae, 25, feels like he's been around for a long time, isn't it? 182 centimeters tall, 24th in the world currently, was as high as 5th with Chae Yoon-jung, his current partner, and that was in September of 2019. So Chae is 27. She's also been a very accomplished player in her time. She's won the Sudirman Cup in 2017, Yuba Cup bronze medal 2020. They've had a bit more of a mixed bag here. Terry He and Tanwei Han in the second round took them to 3. Yamashita and Shinoya also did the same in just about an hour. And then they beat Feng and Wang Dongping, that new pairing. Umpire is Cynthia Tam. And assisted by Jitan Bhatt, the service judge.
Ladies and gentlemen, just a
I'm
reminder
delighted to say that I've got a doubles specialist with me, Grania Somerville, who knows all about the Australian Open. Grania, great to have you with us on this finals day.
Yeah, it's good to be back here for the finals of the Australian Open. It's been a while, and I think the crowd, sold out crowd, I heard, gonna love today.
A lot of pent-up anticipation for a tournament like this. There's been so much excitement around. I've been seeing the fans outside the stadiums, looking forward to meeting the players. It's really a treat for these badminton fans, isn't it, in Australia? Yeah,
I definitely know a lot of people that have come from interstate just to get tickets to these tournaments, to watch this level of badminton back in Australia. So, yeah, everyone's super excited to be here.
How do you see this match panning out?
I think the experience of Song and Jae should get them through this, but it'll be interesting to see the younger ones and how they fare today.
Yes, Jae, you mentioned the so experienced Chae Jeong with him as well. So, Sudirman Cup winner as well for 2017.
On my right, Jae and Chae Jeong, Korea. And on my left, Kim Won Ho and Jeong Na-eun, Korea.
Just trying to gauge which pair is a bit more popular there from the crowd reaction. A bit hard to tell.
Love all. Play.
Chae Jeong gets us going. Nice easy start there.
Service over.
For Jeong.
1-love.
And I guess you should note that both Seo and Chae are left-handers, which is pretty unique in a double situation.
Yeah.
Not too many on the two left-handers. But playing their compatriots, I would presume that they've played against each other a lot, and they would be familiar with that.
Flex serve, and it's an easy finish there. What are the discernible advantages, if any, for a left-hander?
Well, I mean, one of the big things is that as you grow up playing against a lot of right-handers, typically you just get familiar with pushing that shuttle into that backhand, which is usually weaker. And so that kind of becomes a bit of a habit. And when you do then play left-handers, your default is to naturally push it down there again. But
which is their forehand.
Yeah, which is their forehand. So they can definitely play into some of, when stuff gets a bit fast and people's reflexes just come through, then they can take advantage of that and, of course, set up shots that feed into each other's forehands.
Seo and Chae racing into a 4-1 lead. Now this is a slightly different situation, but when you're playing doubles, Grania, what are you doing in these first few rallies? Are you trying to size up your opponents, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely trying to get familiar with the court, just staying sharp in the first few. It can be easy to feel a little nervous, especially in a final like this. So yeah, just trying to get comfortable, get into the rhythm, get moving, all those kinds of things.
That went right across Kim Won Ho. And they're accruing these points really quickly, aren't they?
After her loose shot at the net the first rally, she's been super sharp on the rest of these rallies here, Chae.
Too good.
he played that cross-court backhand that would typically go to somebody else's, like a right-handed backhand, but just went straight to her forehand. Very easy for her to push straight down the line to his backhand. No, sorry, to his forehand, but yeah, under pressure.
So the trick is to keep them under pressure as much as possible so they're kicking with that default setting.
Yeah, well, in mixed doubles, she's just trying to keep control of the net a lot, get the lift for her partner to get the attack. And of course, the other Koreans are trying to stop that from happening.
Well, she has been great, hasn't she, Chae Jeong?
7-2.
Seemed inevitable what was going to happen next.
Yeah, super sharp. As soon as it comes to her, she's able to nearly kill it. First shot or second shot.
It's been our longest run, I think, so far, 33 shots, but by and large, the points have been very quick so far, for Seo and Jae in particular. So Seo and Chae have won the Australian Open back in 2018, looking to win this title back. They then had the Spain Masters in 2019 and the German Open in that year as well. It's been a while since they've won something together.
9-2.
Looking pretty good at the moment.
They have only played 5 tournaments this year, Seo and Jae, which is quite low, but they have made the semis or quarters of all of them, which is credit to them, of course.
Service over. 3.
Yeah, coming good.
9.
At the right kind of time. Good placement there. Fine point there for Kim and Jeong.
4-9.
Just trying to claw back that deficit. 5 points in it now, was 7. Ooh, that hasn't been going out.
Service over.
They've not taken the chance.
10.
Loses the point.
4.
Played that very late, didn't he, Seo?
Yeah, I think he thought it was going out, decided last minute to give it a smack.
Lovely play from Seo in the defence.
11-4. Interval.
And they go into the interval in a very good position here. Seo Seung-jae and Chae Jeong 11-4 in game 1.
Seconds. 20 seconds. Kim on court.
Well, you mentioned there, Ronnie, of course, the experience of Seo and Chae playing together a fair bit. 124 matches, 86 wins, 38 losses, and played too much this year. That's a nice winner, isn't it? Plenty of court to aim at. For Kim.
5-11.
And we have to be fair to say Kim and Jeong have not played much together at all.
Yeah, a bit of a newer pair, so they'll still be figuring out where, especially Jeong needs to cover the net so that Kim can come around. But they seem to be getting their groove going here.
Yeah, just 23 matches together before this tournament, 13 wins. Again, well placed to that far corner.
7-11.
They have got a losing record this year. Only 6 wins out of 15.
Service over. 12-7.
Chae really just showing her dominance there at the net, unwilling to lift.
Great rally, won in the end by Jeong and Kim.
That net shot there, setting it up. Really good court vision there by
Service over. 8-12.
That's a smash there, 340 kilometers per hour. Lead's been cut to 4 now. Quite there with the defence this time from Jeong. So relentless. Third time of asking. He gets his point. To build that lead again that they had earlier. Now it's up to 6. What are they doing so well for you at the moment, Seo and Chae?
Chae is just so controlling at that net. She can really just stay on top of it nearly all the time, forcing the opponents to lift, and then Seo is just able to come in with the attack. So they're just getting the attack majority of the time here.
What would Kim and Jeong need to try to do to counter that?
You saw at the start of the 11 when they came out where Kim was able to find some of the corners, make the court a bit bigger for Seo and Chae. So by making the court bigger, then they're able to come in, find a few more gaps and challenge that net better. When Chae and Seo can be so close together, they just shut down the court so well that it's hard to get through anything.
Yeah, that lead now, the biggest one they've had so far, 9 points. Looking good here, Seo and Chae. Is that a bit of miscommunication, perhaps, or?
Good defense by Chae, and yeah, just a little slow, I think, around the net at the end there.
Yeah, very commanding position right now for Seo and Chae. Beautifully done. That's just in keeping with how Chae's been at the net, isn't it?
Yeah, just great touch, great control. The right idea, they're trying to open up the court, but they're just not finding that back line. Just hitting too many out there.
It's a whopping 12 game points here for Seo and Chae. And they desperately needed something. Jeong.
9-20.
But really, at this point, I suppose you are thinking about the next game for Seo and Chae, for Kim and Jeong, I suppose.
Yeah, I think they just need to try and finish these rallies strong and try and get their game going to get a bit of momentum going into the second set.
Placement. Wonderfully done, and probably the most appropriate way to end things. Chae has been absolutely superb around the net. And it's a dominant performance in game one. Seo Seung-jae and Chae Yu-jung take it 21-9 against Kim Won-ho and Jeong. So, Grant, you and I are just looking at the records, and this is the biggest mixed doubles event that they've been in at this stage for Kim and Jeong. It's a big deal for them.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely more familiar territory for Seo and Chae, and they're showing that in this match. They're able to hit the lines better. They're just a lot more confident, I think, around the net and in the rally. So that experience is shining through at this point.
We have our first challenge from Seo and Chae. It's a tight one. Oh, there's a big gasp from the crowd. was that.
Play.
All seems to be going Seo and Chae's way at the moment. That was brilliant because it looked like him and Jeong were right on top of that point.
Yeah, Chae's just so good at getting out of those tricky situations.
Too
And
low.
then here, yeah, Kim just played that way too high. Maybe yeah, I think he broke a string actually. So that's why that last shot was very loose at the net.
Well,
Service over.
Jeong giving Chae a little taste of her own medicine there.
Yeah, she can keep up.
Well, there's one place you aim for. It's right that midriff, isn't it? It's so difficult to maneuver.
Yeah, very aggressive return there from Seo.
It's all going very well for them at the moment, and similar to the start they had in the previous game, which really set them up ultimately for the win.
Yeah, he's so high at the net there. They're really just putting so much pressure on the net.
Well left.
Service over. 2-4.
Fine rally.
Service
And
over.
big shout there from Chae.
5-2.
A wry smile from Jeong. They'll snap all those points anywhere around that net area. It's pretty much Chae's, isn't it?
6.
Yeah, so quick
Two.
onto it. And as soon as she hits one, she's just straight back up ready if they do get it back.
Service
Kim is
over.
showing those moments of really good court awareness where he can just find that open
3-6.
gap.
And that's what you're saying they need to do, right? To find those spaces and open things up.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, happening few and far between these points. That's in. That's what you're talking about, those kind of shots, looking for the back and find the corners.
Yeah, he was able to bring both Seo and Chae onto the one side there at the end and opened up the back court there. Yeah, beautiful shot.
First time they've had consecutive points here in this game so far. Kim and Jeong. Try and put a run together if they can. But it ends quickly.
7-4.
Lead, biggest one they've had so far in the second game. This is where they could start to surge away. Jeong and Chae. Fine winner down the line from Seo.
9-4.
Starting to run away from them again, do you think?
It definitely looks that way. They're just, Chae and Seo are just so sharp.
Second time he's done that, Seo.
10.
He acknowledges that.
Kim just trying to play it in the mid-court there, in between Chae and Seo. And again, being the left hand, it goes right to his forehand. He can just smack it across straight onto Jeong, unfortunately.
Let's pull one back. They really do need a run now.
10.
Kim and Jeong. We have actually won a tournament together. That was the Osaka International back in 2019. That was under the BWF International Challenge category. Backhand.
Service over. 11-5.
Really has been superb. And so as a partner, Seo Jae, they take the lead. The interval here of the second game, 11-5. Already leading by a game. And are in pole position here to take this final. Seo Jae and Chae Yu-jung.
Play.
Something pretty special has to happen here for Kim and Jeong, you feel. Looking really going right
5.
for them. Nicely done by Jeong. He was involved in the women's doubles yesterday in the semi-finals, lost with Kim Hae-jeong to the Imsad sisters. it does take a toll, doesn't it? And you'll know well, playing in two disciplines in a tournament.
Yeah, it could definitely be very tiring, especially if you're having a day where you might have 2 3-set matches, win one or hopefully both of them, and the next day you've got to back it up straight away.
Chae also played doubles here, men's doubles, but lost, and his partner is of course Kim Won-ho. They lost in the round of 16 to the eventual finalists, Liu Yuchun and Ho Xuan Yi. What's it like whenever you have to face your partner?
Yeah, there's definitely, a level of respect, but also rivalry when you step on court. So
is that sometimes a little bit difficult when you're playing someone you know so well that you're actually normally playing alongside?
Yeah, I think you might not be as, how would I describe it? I don't know, like
ruthless?
Savage. Yeah,
right.
as you might usually be, because you got to hang out with them later or play with them the next day, whatever it might be. So it is probably a bit more, conservative, or I don't know exactly the right word.
Awkward, right?
Not awkward, because you're obviously very familiar, but it's just it's a different approach to how you would play an opponent, from another country, where you just want to go out and give them help.
Yeah.
14-8.
Great shot there from Xiao. Certainly that familiarity will be an interesting dynamic against your partner.
Service over. 9-14.
Well, if they're looking for any crumbs of comfort for now, it's the fact that they've already matched their points total from the previous game. Kim and Jeong, they're 5 away at the moment from Xiao and Chae. Starting to show some positive signs here.
Yeah, they're starting to add a bit more variation,
10-14.
making it a bit harder for Xiao and Chae to guess what's coming. I think in the first set it was a lot of hard driving, which worked into Chae's forehand always being up at the front. Oh.
That is brilliant. And he's been doing that all game, perhaps sporadically and not consistently enough, but he's finding those marks, isn't he?
Yeah,
14.
that was very impressive.
This is a nice little run here for Kim and Jeong. It's easily their best run of points now, 4 in a row. And that
12.
lead has been cut to just 2. Starting perhaps to build a little bit of pressure on their opponents for the first time in this match. Talk about placement, what about that one? Brilliant from Seo Seung-jae.
15-12.
Threw us off at it, Jeong, but no chance. Just relieve that pressure as Kim and Jeong were starting to creep up on them. better from the experienced pair. After that, bit of a revival from Kim and Jeong. Well, he did well to get to it, Kim. Really well. Beautifully done. Now, Chae was putting those sort of things away earlier.
Yeah, I think the pressure, the scoreline could be getting to her a little bit unlucky with that cross net there.
He's making a little fight of it now.
16.
Kim throwing himself around. She's copped a bit, hasn't she, today, Jeong?
Yes, unfortunately, I think that's the second one that she's been hit with. You can see there, Sierra just so quick of pushing up on the other side of the net while Chae is jumped out on the other side.
$17, 13.
Same one as before. Straight up into Sierra's forehand.
18.
At least Jeong didn't get
13.
hit that time.
The silver lining. Now I think they feel they can almost see the end here, perhaps. Oh, almost got that over, Chae. Who's probably the freshest of the four. She's the only one who hasn't had to play any other doubles.
14, 18.
Perhaps that's why she's... Is she, for you, of the four, probably standing out the most?
Yeah, I think she's definitely outclassing the others at the net. She's so sharp, getting a lot back in defense. She's really doing superbly in this match.
Well, we've seen him do that time and again in this match as a whole. Kim
15, 18.
on the sort of areas.
Great rally.
Very good one. You'd expect Chae to put that over.
16,
Maybe now,
18.
again. Gonna crack up that pressure. Almost a tired shot there. That is our longest rally of the match. 46 shots so far. Only 2 points in it. To Kim and Jeong, do they see a ray of light here? Glimmer of hope to stay in this. And she's back. Snap all those shots.
19, 16.
Triple net. Going to end, and it's set up for championship points now. Another fantastic rally.
Yeah, and great patience in the rear court by Sio there.
Match point,
He
16.
just builds the rally really nicely, not hitting anything too crazy to get them in trouble, and just waits for the right chance to set it up for Chae at the front.
Kim.
Down the corner again.
Service over.
That has been his trademark today.
17, 20. Play.
Still 3 championship points for Sio and Chae. And it's appropriate enough that Chae Jeong gets the winner here after losing 3 previous finals. It's their first title since 2019 for this Korean pair, Seo Seung-jae and Chae Jeong, matching the win here that they had at the Australian Open back in 2018. But they've been brilliant from start to finish, haven't they?
Yeah, they were superb today. I think they outclassed their opponents in the end, and really impressive display of badminton.
Chae Jeong in particular has been the impressive player of the 4. So it was nice for her to get the winner.
Yeah, there was a little touch and go there for a second if she should hit it or not, but she made the right choice in the end.
Plenty of fans in the house, says Seo Seung-jae and Chae Jeong beat Kim Won-ho and Jeong Na-eun 21-9, 21-17, and they've done it in just 40 minutes here in the mixed doubles final. Popular winners as well. And we now will have that prize presentation.
I'm sure over the next year or so, their ranking is just going to rise, and hopefully, you know, for them be back in the top 10, top 5 after a break in tournaments.
Yeah, absolutely right. Reminder that they were in the top 5 back in September 2019, and they were picking up those wins. back to some highlights. Right, prize presentation time here at the Australian Open 2022 for the mixed doubles that we've just witnessed.
Won Ho and Jeong Un from Korea. I'd like to welcome Julie McDonald, Badminton Australia board member, to present their medals. Ladies and gentlemen, your winners of the mixed doubles final, Chae and Chae from Korea. I'd like to welcome Andrew Greenway, President of Badminton Australia, to present the winners their medals.
So those are your mixed doubles champions for the Australian Open 2022. Seung-jae and Chae Jeong, their first title win since the German Open in 2019, also a Super 300. And they can add that together with the Spain Masters, and significantly here, it's their second Australian Open. Korea now the second best performing nation in mixed doubles at the Australian Open. This is the Key Centre venue for the Australian Open 2022. We've just had the first final of the day. It was an all-Korean affair. And a fine win for Chae and Jeong. We're now going to move into the women's doubles. Ben Yapa and Nuntakan Aimsan take on the Chinese pair, the 6 seeds, Zhang Shuxian and Zheng Yu. This is their trip towards that final. You can see some pretty big wins for the Aimsans early on. Got a little bit harder, of course, as the competition progressed. And some seeds falling along the way for Tung and Tung. There's the women's doubles. Again, that is pretty much settled now.